ओम शांति। यह बाबा की सेवा के लिए नया चैनल चालू किया है। इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti, Morning Murli, 19th March. Sweet letter of Bab Dada for sweet children. Essence, sweet children, the Father has come to take you away from this world of sorrow and send you to the world of happiness, Sukh Dham. Sweet children, the Father has come to take you away from this world of sorrow and send you to the world of happiness, Sukh Dham. The word Dham is associated with the pure place. Question: on what two words is this unlimited play based? Answer: inheritance and curse. The Father gives you the inheritance of happiness and Ravan gives you the curse of sorrow. This is an unlimited accept. Those who belong to the deity religion claim their inheritance from the Father. Then after half a cycle, Ravan curses them. You children have now remembered that you used to reside in the incorporeal world and that you then came here and played your parts of happiness. You became deities, warriors, merchant and shudras. And you have now become Brahmans in order to become deities again. And you have now become Brahmans in order to become deities again. Song Solutions to Shiva. Om Shanti, this is the praise of the Unlimited Father. The highest on high is God. Everyone knows this. The highest on high is God. Everyone knows this. God is the highest on high and his directions must therefore also be the highest on high. This is why it is said that Shrimat means elevated direction. Shrimat means elevated direction. This is why all the devotees remember him. He is God and so there also have to be devotees. Since he is the father, a mother is also needed. On the one hand, there are worldly parents and on the other there are the mother and father from beyond this world. When people are unhappy, then even though they have worldly parents, they still remember their father from beyond. You also have worldly relations. Your mother and father from beyond take you to the world beyond, whereas your worldly ones are in bondage, in which there is sorrow. There are two worlds beyond. One is the incorporeal world, where souls reside, and other is the corporeal world, which is called the land of happiness. One is the land of peace and other is the land of happiness. Baba comes and takes you away from this land of sorrow, which is also called the land of death or the impure, corrupt world. All here are impure. Those who indulge in vice are called impure. The residents of the golden age are pure and completely viceless. Previously, people would sing songs of praise in front of ideals of Lakshmi and Narayan and consider themselves to be vicious. Lakshmi and Narayan, the emperor and empress, were pure and so the subjects too are called pure. That is the land of happiness, Vaikunt, paradise. Hell is not called a dham. A dham is a pure world, whereas this world is impure. Bharat used to be the land of happiness, but it is now impure, corrupt hell. Everyone now has to be taken to the world of happiness. Therefore, the father definitely has to come so that he can make the children happy. Baba is the creator of heaven and you say, "Oh Baba." You say, "Oh Baba, you first gave us the inheritance of heaven. We stayed in heaven for half a cycle. That is called the Sun Dynasty and Moon Dynasty Kingdom. Baba reminds you that you stayed in heaven for 21 births. You had 8 births in the Golden Age and 12 births in the Silver Age. The father sits here and explains all of these things to you. He says, children, you don't know your own births. You don't know your own births. I tell you everything. The incorporeal word is speaking to the incorporeal children. He says, having taken this ordinary body on loan, I explain to you. You were in the cottage free from sorrow for half a cycle. You then went into the cottage of sorrow. Your happiness ended and you become sorrowful. The path of sin means hell. You experience hell in this world, and then the Father comes and liberates you from the kingdom of Ravan and sends you to the kingdom of Rama. This play is predestined. The Father gives you the inheritance of happiness, whereas Ravan gives you the curse of sorrow. This is an unlimited asset. The Father is now giving you the inheritance of happiness for 21 births. God creates heaven, and so you should receive the inheritance of heaven. You did receive the inheritance. You did receive the inheritance. Then Maya cursed you for half a cycle. You have the entire cycle in your intellects. This cycle never ends. The Father definitely has to come to give you your inheritance. The Father has now come, and He knows that only those who claimed their inheritance a cycle ago will claim it again. No one except those who belong to the deity religion can claim the inheritance. You cannot become deities without first becoming Brahmans. We souls first reside in the incorporeal world, and we then go to play our parts of happiness. We become deities, then we become warriors, merchants, and Shudras. We go into those clans. Those who become Brahmans now call themselves Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. They understand that they are now brothers and sisters, and so there is no vision of vice. You know that when you become pure, you will become the masters of the pure world. You remember the Father and heaven, and you remain pure in this one birth. This is the land of death. There has to be defeat for the land of death and victory for the land of immortality. The five vices don't exist there. The kingdom of Ravan will have ended. The golden and silver ages are called the kingdom of Rama, and the copper and iron ages are called the kingdom of Ravan. Bharat, which was as valuable as a diamond, has now become as worthless as a shell. The Father now says, I have come to give you a birth as valuable as a diamond. So follow my Shrimat. Otherwise, you will not be able to experience the happiness of heaven. There is no mention of sorrow in heaven, and there are no other lands either. Bharat is in fact the ancient land. There is just the kingdom of deities, that is all. That is why it is called heaven. You experience the happiness of heaven for half a cycle, then the kingdom of Ravan begin. The golden age is called the Shiva temple, as it is established by Shiv Baba. Shiv Baba establishes heaven through Brahma and inspires the destruction of hell through Shankar. Those who establish heaven will be the ones who sustain it. They will become the masters of the land of Vishnu. Shiv Baba alone changes you from Shudras into Brahman. At present, you are Brahman clan, and you will then become the deity clan. You have now been brought into the Brahman clan by God. You have now brought into the Brahman clan by God. You will then go and stay with the Father in the supreme abode as the part of the godly clan. Then you will go into the deity clan. In the golden age, there used to be the kingdom of just deities. At that time, there were no other lands. Those of Islam and Buddhists came into existence later. You Pandavas conquer the five vices with the power of yoga and become the conquerors of the world, the masters of the world. Lakshmi and Narayan were the masters of the Sun dynasty heaven. They too received their inheritance from the father at the confluence age. The confluence age is of Brahmans. Those who don't become Brahmans are still in the Iron Age. The father takes you away from the brothel and takes you to the Shiva temple. You are the children of Brahma, Brahma Kumars and Kumaris. So you are brothers and sisters, so you cannot indulge in vice. Yes, you can live together in your households, but you cannot indulge in vice. You have to live in this kingdom of Ravan and remain as pure as a lotus. Then the question of how the world population would increase cannot arise. The Father's order is, I have come to make the pure word. I have come to make the word pure, become pure for this last birth, and you can become the masters of the pure word. This is why innocent ones are assaulted. Obstacles are created by devils in the sacrificial fire of knowledge. The Father says, only by following Shrimad will you become elevated. You had been following devilish dictates for so long. That is, you had been following the dictates of the five evil spirits. I am a soul. I have to play a part through this body. No one knows this. A saligram is called a soul. A saligram is not so big. The Supreme Soul is not so big either. Soul and the Supreme Soul are like stars. The entire part each of you plays is recorded in you souls. Each soul says, I shed a body and adopt one another in order to play a part. The Shri Narayan soul says, I will adopt the form of Shri Narayan and rule for this number of births. The whole imperishable part is recorded in the soul. This is called Godfatherly knowledge. God speaks. The spiritual father sits here and teaches the children. It is not a human being who is teaching you. It is the unlimited Father who is teaching you. No human being knows how this word cycle turns or has knowledge of the creator or creation. You are now becoming worthy of sitting in a temple. That is, you are becoming worthy of ruling in the Shiva temple. When Bharat was worthy, its people were very wise. When Bharat was worthy, its people were very wise. The Father has now come to make you as valuable as diamond. Therefore, you have to follow his Shrimad. The dictates of Ravan makes you as worthless as shell. You know that the duration of the birth cycle is 5000 years and that it becomes old and new within that time. The golden and silver ages are the new world and the copper and iron ages are the old world. The Father has once again come to establish the deity word. You souls take the full 84 birth. The soul speaks and listens through these organs. You shed your old bodies and take new bodies. The Father has given us soul the knowledge that we are at first with the Father in the sweet home. The Father has now given us souls the knowledge that we were at first with the Father in the sweet home. Then we become deities, warriors, merchants and Shudra. This is now our last birth. We Brahmins will claim our inheritance of heaven and become deities. We will adopt new bodies. Let this cycle constantly turn around in your intellects. By staying pure, you will become emperors, ruler of the globe in heaven. This accept will fit in the intellect of those who become this cycle ego. Otherwise, it will not fit in their intellects. You have to understand the history and geography of the world. Some understand all of this and yet they leave this study. They will go to heaven, but because they did not become yogi and have their sins absolved, they will experience punishment. They will go to heaven, but they will claim a low status among the subjects. At first, there were the pure emperors and empress in heaven. They then become impure kings and queens. Now there are no longer even those kings and queens. Pure kings and queens are now becoming pure kings and queens are now being created by the Father. Only the incorporeal Father teaches you this godly knowledge. Brahma is in a corporeal form and listening to the incorporeal Father. The incorporeal Father sits here and teaches us. So, only by studying this knowledge do we change from human beings into deities. The Brahma soul is also studying. The souls of the children too are studying this. Goods and bad sanskar are in the soul. If you have good sanskars, you will take birth in a good family. While studying, some even leave this knowledge. Maya pulls them to herself. On the one side, there are the directions of Ravan, and on the other side, there are directions of Rama. So you must follow the directions of Rama in this last birth. When Ravan is vicious, you go to her side and you then become enemies of Rama. The punishment for such souls is very severe. You have taken refuge with Rama, and so if you then become a traitor and take refuge with Ravan, you will dishonor Rama. It is in your intellects that display about the kingdom of Rama and the kingdom of Ravan is truly predestined. The golden age is Sato Pradhan, the silver age is Sato, the copper age is Rajo, and iron age is Tamo. You are now becoming Sato Pradhan once again. Baba comes and makes you Sato Pradhan, and then from being 16 celestial degree full, you again have to become 14 celestial degrees. Your degrees then continue to decrease in the company of Ravan. Now in the Iron Age, there are no celestial degrees. Everyone says we are impure and corrupt. The impure word has to be destroyed and the pure word is being established. The Unlimited Father knows the children. You are now sitting in God's home. You are now sitting in God's home. You are the godly family of Brahmins. Will then become deities, then you will become warriors, merchant and Shudra. This is a cycle. You Brahman are those who go around the cycle. So by studying Raj Yoga and imbibing knowledge, you will become kings and queens, rulers of the globe. Therefore, you have to make effort to claim a high status in the heaven. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and we spiritual children says Namaste, good morning to our sweetest spiritual father. Essence for Dharana. First, follow the directions of Rama in this last birth. Never leave the refuge of Rama and go into the refuge of Ravan and thereby dishonor the father's name. Second, in order to be liberated from receiving punishment, become yogis and have your sins absolved. In order to go to the pure world, you must definitely become pure. You must definitely become pure. Today's blessing, feel Baba's hand on your head and take a blessing. May you be a master creator and celebrate your perfection with the awareness of your unlimited rights. May you be a master creator and celebrate your perfection with the awareness of your unlimited rights. At the confluence age, you children receive the inheritance. And you also receive an income on the basis of how you study, and you receive blessing too. So take every step by keeping the rights of all three relationships emerge in your awareness. Take every step by keeping the rights of all three relationships immersed in your awareness. Time, matter, and Maya are now waiting to bid you farewell. Now, you masters, creators, simply have to celebrate your perfection and they will bid you farewell. Look into the mirror of knowledge and see what you would become if destruction were to take place at this moment. Look at the mirror of knowledge and see what you would become if destruction were to take place at this moment. Slogan: keep a balance at every moment and in every action, and you will automatically receive everyone's blessing. Keep a balance at every moment and in every action, and you will automatically receive everyone's blessing. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba.